Hello guys and girls. Also, for the first time in TCW video series history, also hello YouTube, because now we are not only a zero production values show internal to the Bit Society, we are also now on YouTube. So hello YouTube, and welcome to this crazy video series where we basically celebrate computing and the computing hobby through vintage computers, through sometimes modern computing, to programming, to hardware, everything that is really geeky and really fun. So hang on, and from my workshop in Sweden, I am the mad computer scientist, and this is the computing workshop. And today in the workshop I will take the time to celebrate an unsung hero, the desktop workstation. And I have selected a machine I have recently refurbished in the workshop to a somewhat decent condition. This is a machine that was donated to the Bit Society, and it's a typical engineering workstation of the mid-90s, I would say. And it's a Compaq DeskPro, a series that existed in several different models. This one is a bit special, which we will get into later, but it's a real beefy machine for its time, which makes it interesting. It's a Compaq DeskPro 6000, which I have refurbished and carefully cleaned up, and I also resoldered some new capacitors in the power supply and so on. This one has a custom power supply, which is a Compaq specialty, as is many things in this machine, including the chassis assembly, which is living hell to disassemble. But it's been done and it's been refurbished, and as you can see, it's now on the workbench, and we will look at what it is, and we will take it apart and look at what's inside, and we will see a really cool typical engineering workstation of the mid-90s. This is the model 6000, so it has something that makes it really unique, and which is this thing. It actually has a genuine Intel Pentium Pro processor on a socket 8 motherboard. Also, my accent sounds like the Swedish chef in the Muppets, and that is, you'll have to live with that, because I am Scandinavian and I think it's cool, so you should think it's cool as well. People in the Bit Society are used to this accent by now. You will be used to it soon enough. So, as I was saying, the Pentium Pro processor was a short-lived giant of a CPU, giant as in size, that Intel created as sort of the midpoint. It happened as sort of the midpoint between the Pentium and the Pentium 2, and the Pentium Pro had a special pipelined architecture which was quite unique for its time, unfortunately not very successful. I will probably do a more elaborate video, or release one of the ones we did some years ago for the Bit Society, detailing more in detail the architecture of the Pentium Pro. But this machine has a Pentium Pro CPU. It has 64 megabytes of RAM. It has a SCSI hard drive setup, and it has a Matrox add-on video card, an MGA video card, which is also very, very nice. So this was a very beefy, quite expensive engineering workstation delivered with Windows NT, which I have also reinstalled on this machine using the original license. We will look at that later. And it was delivered with Windows NT 4, this particular one. So a very, very competent and potent workstation at the time. It's sleek looking. I think I like these compact desktop cases, by the way. They look nice. They have I always had a soft spot for the desktop cases, which is nice because you could place a monitor on top, which is of course the whole idea of this thing, this form factor in general. So, which makes it ideal for office spaces and so on. Now this one was, like I said, let's see if I can stand up there as well. It was refurbished, and it's now in a pretty decent condition. We will, now that we have seen the exterior of this thing, also I want to give a shout out to Christopher within the Bit Society, who donated this machine into the workshop for refurbishing. Thanks. Actually, I don't know what I will do with it once I've refurbished it, but it's at least now it's here and it's looking quite sleek. So let's take the top off and see what's inside this thing. The newly cleaned motherboard with an Intel chipset. This is all Compaq branded, as you can see here, small stickers on it. It says Compaq. This is an ESS audio board, which is rebranded as a Compaq board. And this is the Adaptec SCSI controller for the hard drive, also rebranded with a Compaq sticker on it. And if we remove the SCSI board, one second, there we go, you will see nicely cleaned up Matrox MGA dual output video card, also on PCI. So the machine is constructed in a typically Compaq way. This is the custom Compaq power supply that I refurbished, by the way. So this one is all minty fresh now, like hopefully most of the cases. So this one has a custom way of powering on the machine, which is through the switch over here, which is not an AT switch. And this is actually custom to this power supply, and it also has a custom connectors, or a set of custom connectors on the motherboard with some additional signals, which means that if this one breaks, you have to do what I did now. You have to refurbish the existing one because it's hard to get these now. So we have nice video card, really nice 2D card, and we have the Matrox MGA series is a good card. Matrox in itself is of course known for their workstation cards, maybe not the best game playing performance, but a very good card for what this machine was ordered to do, which according to the original receipt to this machine was for a desktop publishing firm, which makes this card excellent. Also extra equipped, as I said, with 64 megabytes of RAM, which is located beneath this card, but on the front side of the motherboard down there, and also we have the tip. This is built in a typical Compaq fashion. Let me just move this over. So the flat desktop case is laid out with a bunch of inserts or cages for drives for ID for ID, CD-ROM, SCSI hard drive, floppy drive. There's also this thing, the beam going across, which is actually a holder for the riser card, which you can see here. This is the riser portion that sits on the motherboard. I also replaced this cap, by the way, because it was starting to look sad, so I replaced it with a new one. So on this riser card you have the slots, the add-on slots, and this is an ISA slot right here, of which there are 2, and then there are 2 PCI slots on this side, and there are an additional 2 on this side. So that makes it for a total of 4 PCI slots and 2 ISA slots on this machine. And here you can see parts of the motherboard and the Intel chipset, and you see the RAM over there, of which there are 64 megabytes of RAM split over four modules. And yeah, and on this beneath this heatsink you of course have the socket 8 Pentium Pro, allegedly a full gram of pure gold in this CPU. It's huge. It's a huge CPU with a huge socket, and this is one of Compaq's more unusual motherboards, the socket 8 OEM board. Now, the motherboard on these machines are also mounted on this plate, which actually slides out of the machine to the rear, and if you disassemble all of the metal parts here, you can easily pick up this little tray here in the bottom on which the motherboard sits. So the motherboard sits on an isolated tray at the bottom, and the riser connects to the motherboard, giving you the slots for hooking this up. And this is a really nice Adaptec SCSI card, rebranded as a Compaq card, but here you can see the original Adaptec logo. Very nice SCSI card and a SCSI hard drive on 2 gigabytes in size, down here below the floppy drive. So this is a very potent office machine, and it looks real nice. Starting to really like the way this restoration turned out. It's looking quite nice. It has some scuffs, but it's not too bad. So let's power it up. Okay, so let's see if the DeskPro wants to start. We got it hooked up now, so let's push the button and hope for the best, right? Woo. Yes, it springs right into action. So also, yeah, so like you can see, it says DeskPro 6000, and it has 64 megabytes of RAM, and it's going to initialize the SCSI adapter. And like I said, 1996 is the date of the adapter bias. This is typical mid-90s stuff, but it's also very, very powerful DeskPro model, which was not very common at the time. Okay, so it wants us to start something, Let's see if we can start NT. So we are going into Windows NT boot mode, as you will see here. This is the OS loader, which is loading Windows NT. Maybe, if we're lucky. And we see that we have one system processor. As you may recall, Windows NT actually supported multiple processors very early, and here we have the nice Windows NT workstation 4.0. I actually patched this to Service Pack 1 as well. Now it wants us to log in, so let me just grab keyboard over here. Yeah, sorry about that. Like I said, like all the bits videos, the production values is close to 0, but that's part of the charm, right? So let's see, let's go with a blank password. Ooh, feel like a true hacker now. Okay, so it now runs Windows NT version 4 with Service Pack 1. And it's looking quite snazzy actually. It's not bad. Oh, camera's having a real hard time focusing on the icons there, and on the desktop in general because of the flickering of the monitor. Also some suspect geometry issues going on with this monitor. So it actually has a network card built in, so I tried to find a DHCP2. Here we can see some suspect geometry issues, but I think that may actually be just the frequency being slightly out of range for this monitor. It is a Deluxe Scan 5870, one of the greatest small monitors, VGA monitors around. It's really good and looks really good in like the MS-DOS modes. Has some fiddling to do with getting the picture to sync correctly on these higher resolutions, but as you can see, Windows NT is working fine on this machine. Once again, sorry for the flickering, but I'm filming a CRT screen, which makes it look really horrible. But let's see if I can maybe, no, this is a fresh installation as well, so on this, let's bring up like WordPad or something. You can type something in and it apparently works. Everything is in. No, I don't want to save that. So everything is working fine on this machine, and together with the Microsoft Office package and maybe some programming software, the IDE or something like that, this will make a really nice workstation. But as for now, don't know really what I'm gonna do with it. Just wanted to show it off because it was this cool 6000 model with the Pentium Pro, which is really cool. Also, if we do this, I don't know if you can see this. Let's go to the control panel and take. Let's see if we can set the devices. Oh, you can also see it has the Compaq Net icon, which is part of this original installation. But here we have the. Let's see if we can see that somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, this is the MGA mill, which is the driver, the device driver for. Hold on. And here we have all the nice settings, including true color of the Matrox video card. And it's a Matrox MGA 2064W. It's a 220 megahertz video DAC with a 2 megabyte memory size. This is a very good SVGA 2D card. Very good for the intended purpose as a desktop publishing machine, so I understand why they ordered this. The machine originally has a Cirrus Logic onboard VGA, but this machine was ordered with the Matrox card as an extra. So including also the RAM upgrade, which was also an extra, as was the originally this one had a dual SCSI hard drive with a RAID configuration, which I removed one of the drives when refurbishing because it was making a weird noise, so I got rid of it, and now just running one 2 GB drive on the SCSI card. So yeah, that was it for this shorter review of this machine that are now just finished in the workshop. And next time we make a video, we will make a video on who knows what. We are, as always, we have 0 production values, but 1,000,000% of enthusiasm for computing in general, vintage computing, programming, hardware, and for generally having fun and mucking around out here in the workshop. Might be doing some electronic stuff shortly as well, and now that we are also on YouTube, you can of course also place a comment for what you would like to see featured next. Would you like to see some of the nice 486 machines standing over there, or maybe that one? Or do you want to see maybe these IBM 5155 portables doing something cool? Or some of the Commodore stuff that are being in restoration on the shelves up there, including some other junk? Or something else. There's a lot of things passing through this workshop. So, whatever it is, let's just do something with the stuff and have fun. That's the most important thing. Let's have fun, because computing is supposed to be fun. So until next time, take care. Bye bye.